I've got a premonition, I'm dreaming you and I. All my darkest fears are coming outside. We got a billion races, we got this melody.
Hey guys, it's Holly Go Lightly. Welcome back to Perfume Vegas. Thanks for coming back and joining me today. On my poll in the community tab, you guys said you wanted to hear about coffee fragrances, so I am ever your humble servant, and I'm going to talk about some of the coffee fragrances that I've tried, that I have in my collection, and how I feel about them, and whether or not I would recommend them to you. So without further ado, I'm gonna take my coffee. I'm actually done with it. So I was gonna say I would take my coffee, have a sip, but I actually finished it. So we'll just get right into the video. The first fragrance is one that is kind of ubiquitous with coffee notes. It's a designer scent that has been around for a while now. It's one of the best sellers. You all know it. Some of you probably hate it. Some of you love it. It is YSL's Black Opium. I have a 30 ml bottle, but I'm trying to use up this travel spray. This little pen spray, so that's what I have out. YSL Black Opium is extremely well known for being a designer scent with a prominent coffee note. However, before I can continue speaking about Black Opium, I do have to say a little something about my baby, MUGLER Angel. Angel is the first of its kind in this genre. It has a coffee note, it has a chocolate note, it has an orange note, it has a vanilla note, it has like all these sweet notes mixed with citrus notes, mixed with musky notes, and Angel was released in 1992, I believe, and it's been the forerunner for fragrances like Black Opium, to the extent where one could even say Black Opium wouldn't exist without Angel. So, well done, baby. Okay, let's move straight into Black Opium. It is a designer fragrance. Most of you probably have this in your collection or have had at some point. It's a very safe blind buy. I don't think there's many people who actually dislike the fragrance or have some sort of bad reaction to it. I think that a lot of the dislike, the hate even, that the scent gets comes from its popularity. It's hyped up. Everyone has it. Everyone loves it. Even I, who am not the biggest fan of the actual fragrance, own it in 3 different sizes. Yeah. And it's a nice scent. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the fragrance. This was released in 2014, and the perfumers included Honorine Blanc, Marie Salomon, Nathalie Lorson, and Olivier Cresp. So they all worked on this fragrance. The top notes are pear, pink pepper, and orange blossom. The middle notes are coffee, jasmine, bitter almond, and licorice. The base notes are vanilla, patchouli, cedar, and cashmere wood. When I smell this, I do get a lot of the pear fragrance. I do get the white florals. I get vanilla and patchouli. But I don't pick up a ton of coffee in the fragrance. I don't get a huge heavy dose of coffee notes here, and it's okay. Like, that's fine with me. It's not, I would never buy a fragrance without smelling it expecting to smell something specific. But I do find it interesting that Black Opium is supposed to be, so well known for having the coffee element, and I personally cannot pick that note up. But with that being said, it's a beautiful fragrance. It's lasted, the test of time on the market, and there's so many flankers. I really like the Black Opium Neon flanker. So yeah, I definitely would say that if this is something that you want and you've been thinking about, don't let anyone's negative opinion frighten you off of it. Get it, girl, get it. The next is one that I own, but I don't have the bottle here. It is Valentino Uomo for men. This is a marketed towards men designer fragrance from Valentino, and it is a fairly unique designer fragrance on the market because it's a men's gourmand fragrance. I own it in the original Eau de Toilette version. I think there's a couple of different versions of it. Yeah, there's Uomo Intense, Aqua, there's the 2015 release, there's just, like, there's a whole bunch, but the original that I have is the Eau de Toilette. This is a fairly gender neutral fragrance despite being marketed towards men through a designer channel. It really suits both men and women equally. It is actually considered a leather fragrance. It was done in 2014 and the perfumer for this is Olivier Polge. And yeah, the top notes are bergamot and myrtle. The middle notes are hazelnut, chocolate, and roasted coffee beans. And the base is leather and cedar. This is one of the designer fragrances on this list that I can really pick up the coffee and chocolate and leather. It's just a really sexy gourmand scent that is suitable for anybody and is really quite suitable for almost any time of the year. Maybe not like summer hot days, but even summer nights. I would say that you could get away with this fragrance. So again, if you are a man or woman and you're looking for a coffee fragrance and you want to find something in the designer realm that's maybe a little bit less expensive, don't overlook Valentino Uomo. It's a really good one. And on discount websites, you can pick it up for about $45. So keep that in mind. The next one that I am going to talk about is new to my collection. It is Replica Coffee Break. So this is designed as a gender neutral fragrance. It's marketed to men and women. It says provenance period Stockholm 2007, fragrance description creamy and cozy coffee, style description female and male fragrance. This is from Maison Margiela, part of the Replica line. It's one of the newest releases from the Replica line. I just added this to my collection recently, and the reason I did was because when I first tried it, I was expecting it to be a coffee scent, to have a very strong coffee note, but it doesn't. This one actually is it's a less noticeable coffee note than even in Black Opium to me. This is definitely gender neutral. I would even go so far as to say that this leans like slightly more masculine. It's very lavender heavy. It's quite an aromatic scent. I was really surprised when I first tried it. But after I had thought about it and I was really enjoying the way that it developed, I did decide to go ahead and pick it up. So this fragrance was released in 2019 and the nose behind this scent is Jacques Cavalier. The top notes are pepper, patchouli, and orange blossom, though the middle notes are lavender, coffee, milk, tonka bean, benzoin, and cypriol oil, and the base notes are vanilla, cedar, and vetiver. Yeah, this leans very masculine to me. I don't really pick up a lot of the milkiness or the coffee of this. There is definitely that patchouli note. The lavender is the most prominent note I get here. Cypriol and vetiver and cedar come through very strong. So if you are thinking about purchasing Coffee Break, I would say definitely try before you buy. This isn't this is not a blind buy safe type of fragrance, but I think a lot of people will enjoy it, just maybe not in the way that you would expect to enjoy it. So yeah. In case anyone was curious, on Fragrantica, this is compared quite favorably to Uomo from Salvatore Ferragamo. So if you want a less expensive alternative, one that you can find on discount websites. That might be an option. It's also compared to REM by Ariana Grande. I haven't smelled that, so I don't know. I do know it is a lavender heavy feminine fragrance. So if you are a feminine person or a person who likes feminine fragrances and you want the lavender note without it being a little bit more sharp and masculine, that might be something to consider. Let's move on. The next scent on this list is the most expensive by far, and I wouldn't be suggesting it to you except for there is at least one dupe available that I think is really good. So yeah, the original that I'm going to be suggesting is Black Phantom by Kilian. I do not own the original fragrance, the original eau de parfum of Black Phantom. I have some of the like accessories. I have it in the body wash, and then I also have the Dua inspired by version, which is called Black Widow. Now, I've mentioned this in a different video, but I don't think that the Dua version is exactly a dupe for Black Phantom. It's very similar, but there are some differences in longevity and projection. But the scent is very similar, if not quite as deep. It's a spicy, sweet cocoa, chocolate, coffee, and boozy scent. The original Black Phantom is quite a dark scent. It's part of their black line, I think it's called. And it is a deep, rich, long-lasting heavy hitter. The Black Widow version is a little bit lighter. It's a little bit more easy to wear, I think. It is still a really beautiful fragrance. So the perfumer for Black Phantom is Sidonie Lancashire, and it was launched in 2017. The fragrance notes for Black Phantom are dark chocolate, rum, caramel, coffee, almond, sugarcane, sandalwood, and heliotrope. So the notes for Black Widow are dark rum, sugarcane, dark chocolate, coffee, caramel, almond, Javanese vetiver, heliotrope, and sandalwood. So there's a little bit of difference, but this is a really amazing scent, and the original Black Phantom is a really amazing scent. If you don't want to spend the money on Black Phantom, or definitely try Black Widow from Dua. It's $55, and they have sales all the time. Like, I think they're running a sale right now. Yeah. The last bottle that I have in my hands to show you is from Theodoros Kalotinis. I know I've talked about his fragrances in a couple of videos recently. Like I said when I hauled them, I'm like a little bit obsessed. I really enjoy these. So I think that the word needs to be spread. I have Coffee Addict, of course. Like I said, Paola Bianca talked about this fragrance as well. Her video will be linked down below. But this is the most, of all of these, this is the most photorealistic coffee fragrance. You're just going to get a straight up, it's just coffee. It's like a fresh brewed cup of coffee. The notes for this are coffee, vanilla, and caramel. But to me, like I said before, I don't really pick up a lot of the caramel. It's just like a slightly sweet, dark coffee scent. So good. It's so good. And this is a niche house, and it's out of Greece. And it's actually very affordable. The bottle is 43 euros, which in American dollars, I think is about 55 US dollars, around there. But for a niche fragrance, I think it's priced extremely well. They ship to the US, UK, and Europe, I know for a fact, and you can also get free shipping over $100 or over 100 euros on the website. So this was created by Theodoros Kalotinis himself. He's the owner and perfumer in this house, and it's just such a beautiful fragrance. It's gorgeous, it's coffee, it's photorealistic. I absolutely adore it. There's really no comparisons. It's a fairly new fragrance, I believe, that it hasn't been around for a super long time. Yeah, launched in 2020. So it's definitely something that is taking, it needs to get onto people's radar. But a lot of European YouTube reviewers are starting to pick up on this, and then the US reviewers are getting as well. So get in while you can with Coffee Addict. You can see we're among the first. It's really worth it, you guys. The whole site has some great scents, so definitely check them out. And then the final fragrance I had a sample of. I have a sample of somewhere. I can't find it. This is Floral Street's Ylang Espresso. So this scent definitely pops a little coffee, but it also is like a creamy, like floral. It's not my favorite. Of all of the fragrances I've mentioned to you that I've tried that are coffee fragrances, coffee based, or that are prominently coffee notes, this is my least favorite. This one was done by Jerome Epinette for Floral Street. It was released in 2017. And the notes for this fragrance are rose, Sichuan pepper, and tangerine at the top, ylang ylang, tiramisu, patchouli, and jasmine in the middle. And on the base, we have coffee, whipped cream, cacao, and guaiac wood. There's something weird to me. There's just something about this fragrance that strikes me as a little strange. The combination of notes does not play well on my skin. It was actually one of the least favorite fragrances that I tried from the Floral Street collection. But it does have a very distinct coffee note. So if that's what you're looking for and you want something that's a little bit more affordable on the designer side, this is also a niche brand, but it is more easily accessible. I think the full bottles run about $79 US. You can buy them at Sephora or off the Floral Street website or off QVC or Macy's or like all those places. It's definitely accessible, but I would strongly suggest that you try before you buy with this one, because it's like, have you ever had like a bulletproof coffee with the butter in the coffee? If you have, do you remember the first time you tasted it and you were like, like, I'm not sure that I don't like this, but I'm also not sure if I like it or not. That's how I feel about this fragrance. I'm like, there's something just like, about it. So anyways, that is the last one on this list. I hope that if you're interested in coffee fragrances, you found something here that either you hadn't heard of or you hadn't tried that piqued your interest. I would be happy to recommend fragrances in more categories. If there's something that you're looking for specifically, just let me know in the comments down below. I'd be so excited to do that for you. And otherwise, please let me know that you liked this video by giving me a thumbs up and turn on the notification bell so that you can find out when I upload the next video for your entertainment and pleasure. All right? Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye!
We're running in the jungle of love.